Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Hayya 'ala as-salah. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر، الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
Alhamdulillah nasta'inu wa nastaghfiruh wa na'udzu billahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina. May yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu wa may yudlil fala hadiya lahu. Asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la syarika lah wa asyhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik alaihi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man tabi'ahu wa walah. Amma ba'du fa ya ibadallah, usikum wa nafsi bi taqwallah wa huthukum ala ta'atillahi wa ta'ati rasulih la'allakum turhamun. Qala Allah ta'ala fi kitabil karim, a'udzu billahi minasyaitonir rajim, wa ati'u Allah wa rasulah la'allakum turhamun. My dear brothers, first of all, we praise and thank Allah SWT for all His blessings. And we also invoke peace and blessing upon our beloved Prophet Muhammad SAW, his family, his companions, and all those who follow him doing good deed till the day of judgment. Now we are still in the month of Muharram, the first month in the Muslim calendar or the Hijri calendar. In other words, we are now in the new year. The new year Hijrah. It is called Hijri calendar, although it was introduced by the second Khalifa Umar ibn Khattab, many years after the death of the Prophet. But it was counted back to the year in which the hijrah, or the emigration of the Prophet Muhammad and his companions from Mecca to Medina took place. So today, because the hijrah happened in the month of Rabiul Awal, meaning the third month in Muslim calendar. So more or less, the hijrah happens for a little bit less than 1444 years ago. Because in Rabiul Awal will be the complete or completely 1444 44 years ago. The hijrah is very important in Islamic history because it was the turning point of Islam or Islamic history. As we learn in the seerah, or the biography of the Prophet himself, like many other prophets before him. So he was put to task and test by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in his da'wah work to invite people from the worship of the creatures to the worship of the Creator, or to invite people to the aqidah of Tawheed, the belief in the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Although the Prophet was the beloved of Allah, but Allah never spoiled him. Allah did not make his way of da'wah smooth. So the Prophet ﷺ had to go through a lot of tests and difficulties, being persecuted, tortured, humiliated, boycotted or ostracized. In fact, the hijrah happened not long after the 3 years of boycott or ostracism. We know that the Prophet ﷺ, with all the members of his tribe of Bani Hashim, were ostracized by the Quraysh in the valley of Abu Talib, where they were cut off completely from the people of the city. Nobody was allowed to deal with them in any way, to buy or to sell or to help in any way. For 3 years. It's not a short period. But because of tribal solidarity, so all the non-Muslims in his tribe also had to be ostracized together. So what happened, can you imagine? For 3 full years, the Prophet and his tribe were not allowed to communicate with the people in the city or to deal with the people of the city. Can you imagine about the supply of food and drink they have with them? How long would it last? Eventually, as told by Bilal bin Rabah, after the lifting of the boycott or the ban, it's after 3 years, the Prophet not only had nothing left except a piece of cloth on his body and the torn footwear. On top of that, he lost the true men's support in his struggle or his work. namely his only and beloved wife Khadijah radiallahu anha, who sacrificed everything for the work of Islam, for the work of her husband. She was considered to be the richest woman in Mecca, but she spent all her wealth and eventually her own life for Islam. We know the Prophet never married another woman during his marriage to Khadijah. Only after the Khadijah's death, the Prophet took the second wife. Also not a young or virgin girl, but an old woman, older than him as well, namely Sauda. We come back to Khadijah, the role she played in Islamic history. She was the first to believe in the message of Muhammad before anybody else. Even before when the Prophet was still in doubt, but Khadijah believed already. That's how it is. And then he lost another support, namely Abu Talib. What he got from them, very strong moral support and care. But for him, the Quraysh would have felt free to do anything against the Prophet. Now Abu Talib died. So the Prophet lost everything. And that year was called in Islamic history as Amul Huzn, the year of sorrow. And in that situation, the Prophet ﷺ never gave up. He never stopped his da'wah work. Coming back from ostracism to the city, and he was thinking, perhaps the people of another town called Ta'if would respond to his message. So he traveled there. According to Bilal, how the Prophet traveled there, because he had nothing less. He had no mount to ride on, not even a donkey. So the Prophet ﷺ walked on foot with the torn footwear to Ta'if, which is about 70 miles away from Mecca, on foot, accompanied with one of his relatives. And then when he reached Ta'if, what happened? So he was welcomed with stoning. The people of Ta'if provoked the young people to stone the Prophet until he got bleeding. This is the treatment he got. By that time, it was said that the angel came to offer him a service. So Muhammad, we are at your service. Just give us instruction what you want. You want us to crush the people of Ta'if between the two mountains, we will do. What did he say? No. But because we want the offsprings which will emit or will come out their loin will believe in Allah. Or will be believers in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And did the Prophet even pray against them? Or did the Prophet ask Allah to destroy those people? No. But instead he said, Allah mahdiya qawmi wa innahum la ya'lamun. Wa innahum la ya'lamun. Oh Allah, guide my people because they do not know. That is why they treated me like this. And from that he came back on foot, 70 miles, walking on foot. And Bilal, who saw what happened when the Prophet was about to reach his home, he fell down. And he dragged his body to the house, to the door of his house. So this is the Prophet of Islam. This is what he faced. He had to face. Allah never spoiled him. Although Allah has His own plan, but then how it is. To love, not to spoil. And then right after that, the Quraysh become more free now. And then in the assembly of Quraysh, they call Darun Nadwa. It's like parliament today. They discuss the matter about how to kill Muhammad. That's what they have debate on. Why? Because in Mecca at that time, it's not easy for anybody to kill anybody because if you belong, if that person belong to a clan or a tribe, and then the whole tribe will be responsible for the blood money. That's what they were thinking. And then eventually, perhaps through the help of Shaitan, so they decided. They said, now we have to appoint from every tribe, from the 4 major tribes of Quraysh at that time, a young man equipped with a sword. And then they had to kill Muhammad together like a one man. They mean together at the same time, to like one man. So in that way, they share the responsibility of paying blood money. They were decided. They decided, and exactly at that time, during the night when the 4 young men surrounded the house of the Prophet, that very night, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala permitted the Prophet to leave. So he left, stepping over their head, but they were asleep. They didn't see. While Abu Bakr was ready outside waiting with the 2 camels. And this moment is recorded by Allah in Surah Tawbah ayat 40. But Allah said, إِلَّا تَنْصُرُوهُ فَقَدْ نَصَرَهُ اللَّهُ إِذْ أَخْرَجُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا ثَانِيَ اثْنَيْنِ إِذْ هُمَا فِي الْغَارِ إِذْ يَقُولُ لِصَاحِبِهِ لَا تَحْزَنْ إِنَّ اللَّهَ مَعَنَا. You don't want to help him, then Allah help him, and help him when he was driven out or expelled by those who disbelieve as the second of the 2 companions. When he said to his companion, do not grieve, because Allah, indeed, Allah is with us. So this moment was recorded in the Quran, the moment when the Prophet ﷺ, instead of going to the north to Medina at that time, which was his destination, but he tricked them by going toward the south and hiding in the cave of Thor. That is the story. But Allah said, فَأَنزَلَ اللَّهُ سَكِينَتَهُ عَلَيْهِ وَأَيَّدَهُ بِجُنُودٍ لَمْ تَرَوْهَا. So Allah made the peace of tranquility descend upon him and supported him with a host you can't see. What happened at the mouth of the cave, Allah has caused a wild dove or pigeon to lay egg and sit on his egg there, and also on its egg, and also cause a spider to weave the spider web on the mount on the mouth of the cave. So the kuffar who went there to search for him, make them think this. I mean, their view make them think that nobody has been in the cave because of their situation. Therefore, Allah said, Allah Himself who protected him. So this is just one moment of the Hijrah story. And then from that hijrah to Medina, the Islam start to be established as a state and also spread all over Arabia, first during the lifetime of the Prophet and after his death. The Muslim conquered many land, the land under the Roman and also Persia. I think that's all we have to say today. Barakallahu li wa lakum fil Qur'an al-azim wa nafa'ani wa iyyakum bima fihi min al-ayati wa dhikril hakim wa taqabbala minni wa minkum tilawatahu innahu samiul alim. أقول قولي هذا أستغفر الله العظيم لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين والمسلمات واستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين وبه نستعين على أمور الدنيا والدين أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله الملك الحق المبين وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صادق الوعد الأمين اللهم صل وسلم وبارك عليه وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعه بإحسان يوم الدين. أما بعد فيا المسلمون اتقوا الله قد كنتم إلا وأنتم مسلمون. قال الله تعالى في كتابه الكريم أعوذ من الشيطان الرجيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم وسلم تسليما كثيرا اللهم ارض عن الخلفاء الراشدين المهتدين سادتنا أبي بكر عمر عثمان وعلي وعن سائر الصحابة أجمعين اللهم اغفر للمسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين اللهم حبب إلينا الإيمان وزينه في قلوبنا وكره لنا الكفر والفسوق والعصيان واجعلنا من الراشدين ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا واخطأنا وربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين اللهم لا تسلط علينا بذنوبنا من لا يخافك ولا يرحمنا ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار عباد الله إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله